Over the past 2 months, I've had two similar conversations with two major representatives of two different major insurance carriers that have both told me that there's new data out. And the simple fact is the future of life insurance sales is telesales. And why is this important? Because everything's different than it was just a few years ago. When I was selling final expense life insurance and also other life insurance products, most of those sales were being done on face-to-face basis. So we're talking like a majority. Now it's the other way around. The telesales is taking over. So before we get into it, please give the video a thumbs up. We do suggest subscribing if you're new to the channel. We're putting out insurance sales content and final expense sales training videos all the time. And guys, the three things we're going to address in this video. Number one, the information that I have that's showing that telesales is the future for life insurance sales. Number two, face-to-face versus remote sales for the agents. And number three, face-to-face versus remote sales for the clients. So with that being said, if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to get the free new agent telesales super file. Now, this file has some really cool sales material that you're absolutely going to want to use and want to have if you're selling life insurance and or final expense remotely over the phone from the comfort of your own home. So let's jump right into it and talk about number one, the information that I have that proves to me that telesales is the future. So as I said earlier, I've had two different conversations, two different reps. And the crazy thing was both of these conversations, it was as if I was speaking with the same person. And you guys can research this. There is data out that's showing that like every year over the past 5 years now, we're talking since around COVID, that shift happens from face-to-face to telesales like 3 to 5% each year. So now what's happening is there's just a higher percentage of people doing telesales over and over compared to face-to-face. So at the end of the day, it's just this big crazy shift that's been happening. It's really clear. I would have to say at the end of the day, especially when you look at this data, it's obvious where the future is. Now, let's talk about number two, the agents. Now, this is important, guys, because think about it. If you're a face-to-face agent, you're calling your leads, you're setting appointments, you're even, especially if you're selling final expense, you're even door knocking the leads. Now, on top of that, you're driving all over the place. So I know back in the day when I was producing $300,000 to $400,000 of AP every year, I was driving all throughout Florida. So I would literally drive 3 hours away to an area that I'd work it all day. Sometimes I'd stay in a hotel, work another half a day usually before I'd be exhausted and then come back home. And so I used to do that over and over and over for years because that was the best way to do it. Now, I really feel if I had to make the same money that I was making then, probably my lead cost would be double. So I'd spend double the amount of leads, and I'm pretty sure I would only get in half the production. And that's kind of the shift that I started seeing in my later days when I was selling face-to-face. It seemed to get harder and harder. There was more and more clients that I'd go to. I'd have the lead, I'd get to the house, and I'd be like, holy crap, I've been here before. The crazy part, a lot of these people that would fill out these, back then it was mainly direct mail lead forms that would fill these forms out, would fill them out over and over and over. We called them serial mailers. So nowadays, who wants to do that? We talk about the agents. Here's the way I see it. Is that what you want to do? Do you want to drive all over the place? There's a couple of things. There's some dangers of working the rough neighborhoods. I know that my wife was working. She went to an appointment once and had a guy pull a gun on her in one of the areas that she was working. That was really, really scary. And I also noticed the money is different. So this is important. So like I said, back in the day, I used to earn a really good income selling face-to-face. But nowadays, to make that same income, it's just not happening. I hate to say it. Your typical face-to-face agent, they usually make around $35,000, $40,000 a year. It's not very much. And now I'm not saying the typical telesales agent makes a lot more, but the income potential when you're selling over the phone versus face-to-face is a lot better. The lead quality nowadays for telesales is a lot higher and a lot cheaper. So now you're getting a much better quality lead at a very low cost, a much better ROI, which makes it, when you have a good system, a good CRM, a dialer system, a system like we have for our agents, it makes it a lot easier to have multiple conversations each day with a lot of different people that are potential customers. And what about the carriers? Look, the carriers have gotten better and better and better at telesales. They've made it so much easier. When I did telesales, the first time I did did telesales, so we're talking maybe 7, 8 years ago. I remember you would call the carrier with the client on the line, and then the carrier would read all the questions on the application to the client, and the client had to answer the representative from the carrier. Nowadays, you don't have to do it that way. There's so many easier ways. With some clients, you do have to do this, but generally those conversations are a lot shorter. Like, it used to be 25 minutes that you and your client would have that three-way call. Now they're doing it in like less than 10 minutes when they have to do it. Then you've got your electronic signature. You can do the electronic signature through email, and then there's text signature process that a lot of the carriers have. So even the carriers have made the whole process a lot easier. Number 3, the clients. When it comes down to the people that we sell to, yeah, some of them kind of do prefer a face-to-face conversation, but most people don't want that. I mean, think about it, who wants a life insurance agent coming over to their house to make a sales presentation? They would rather just get a quote. They'd rather just fill out a lead form. In their mind, they're thinking, if I change my mind, I'm just not going to answer the phone. To me, it's just the convenience is so much better. It really is. So with that being said, guys, at the end of the day, telesales, it's just more convenient for everybody. I mean, we know that. The leads, the ROI on the leads for telesales are better than ever right now. When it comes to face-to-face, the ROI has actually gotten really horrible. The carriers have made the telesales process super easy. And look, yes, there's always going to be a place for face-to-face sales. But honestly, if you want to make the big money, it's not going to be selling life insurance face-to-face. It's going to be through telesales. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. If you'd like a copy of the new agent Telesales Super File, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on working with us on a remote telesales platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there or get on that headset, and whatever you do, make sure that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.